Hi, thanks for coming back to part 2 of this interview with Othello De'Souza-Hartley. Let's see what else he had to say about art and success within the art world. So you've mentioned commissions, and I know that you've been commissioned quite a few times.
Yeah, I've been commissioned.
I'm sure I've seen V&A commission you.
Yeah, V&A commissioned me. That was when I was at, that's one of my earliest commissions. I actually say that the Camden Art Centre was my first commission, but V&A was a different kind of commission. It was work for their archives.
Okay.
So which is nice because I was a student at the time. This was around about 2000. And I remember I got the phone call and they asked if I wanted to do it, and I did it. And I think the first one was tattoos. And it was me and a couple of other photographers. We were just documenting it. And then I think what happened that day was they were like, "Who can stay later?" And everybody, I don't know why everybody was saying, "It's a really hot day, we should leave because it's a hot day." And V&A were like, "We've got so many more people who want a photograph." And they were like, "Oh," and I was like, "You know what, I should stay." And I stayed till, what, 6:30, just because I loved what I was doing. And literally after that, I got 2 more commissions in them. So I did a Gothics one for them, and I did another one for them, which was about black hair and beauty. So I got like 2-3 years of commissions doing this, just staying late.
But how did the original V&A one come about?
Through St. Lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then how future commissions after that come
So
about?
future commissions was, the first one was Kerry J. Marshall, and after that, that one at Camden Art Centre, that's when it all changed.
Yeah.
Straight away after that, I got the National Trust. I did an installation at the National Trust in Sutton House in Hackney. Did the whole installation. I did this whole pictures, film, and I made an installation piece. And then National Portrait Gallery commissioned me to do about Caribbean elders. And I did like...
How did you get that? The National Portrait Gallery?
Through the National Trust, because they saw that they heard about the work. So there was 3 artists commissioned, different parts of London. And I was chosen to the East London, and did 12 portraits of 12 Caribbean elders. That was at the gallery. And then after that, I had a couple of commissions at the Orleans House Gallery in Richmond. And then the biggest commission was last year. I got this commission, which is funny, from Mark Booth, B3 Media, and the Museum of Liverpool, which is really funny because I met Mark. And I remember when I was a student in 2000, I remember sending him a CV. And I said, "Look, I'd love to do something with you," because everybody told me about this guy called Mark. I was like, "Yeah, I'll send him a CV." Guy didn't reply to me. And it's funny, during the commission, I reminded him, he goes, "Yeah, I remember, but you weren't ready as yet." And he's a funny guy. But literally, he called me out of the blue. And I was like, "Mark?" He was like, "Yeah, hello, I'd like to have a meeting with you." And I was like, "Really?" Because I don't know Mark Booth, but I've heard about this guy who's been doing stuff for years in film and stuff. And I was like, "Really? Okay." And I was thinking, I remember contacting you in 2000, I didn't even hear back from you, and he's calling me up. So I'm going to meet this guy, and he's a bit of a character, he's a funny guy, and he's really hard to work with because he really pushed me. I must have pushed me a lot. And he goes, "Well, there's a commission going with the Museum of Liverpool, and I'd like to commission you. And how would you approach it?" And I told him about how I approach work, and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I got the commission from them, had the meeting with the Museum of Liverpool, and literally it was like 6 months of solid work, travelling up and down to Liverpool. I was literally in Liverpool like every week, and then during the shooting, the research part took from September till like February or January, then started shooting it from end of January to middle of March, and the exhibition opened April the 2nd. But that was a huge, I was like, the first time I've ever had that kind of budget, and it was amazing because I could really stretch myself as far as I wanted, and I like had these massive prints done, backed onto aluminium. And obviously it was a commission, so it was give and take of some images that they wanted specifically, and some stuff I wanted. But it was amazing because I'm like, just like a huge commission. It was on for like 6 months. Got a write up in the Wall Street Journal, and actually that was our biggest commission. I was like huge. It was like we took over this whole, literally, the first floor, half the first floor of the Museum of Liverpool. I chose the wall. We had the walls painted black, because I wanted the walls painted black, and I was really fussy how I wanted the exhibition to look. And they were like, "Go for it, just keep on going." I had to convince them, but it was brilliant. So that was honestly amazing.
So it sounds like all of your commissions come about because of work that you had been doing, and then networking.
Networking, And some people say, oh, networking, I don't like to do it, and you're selling your soul. But it's not. I love art. I don't go to networking. I do networking. I just generally love art. And you happen to meet people from galleries and people who at openings and stuff. But also links that I've had from doing some of these internships. And so like the Photographers Gallery gave me a commission for the Olympics. It's like each photographer had to submit one picture. But these relationships I've built up since, you know, from when I was like doing invigilating and stuff.
Yeah.
So so yeah.
Very well done.
Thank you.
And so, what would you say has been your biggest challenge today as an artist?
The biggest challenge today, I'd say, it's not even surviving, because I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It's your own insecurities, I would say, because you're living in a world where, you know, again, and this is back to the masculinity things, like you model yourself sometimes, you can't help it. You're like, oh, this is what the idea of success looks like. And when you start off getting the commissions, it's just, think, oh, you're doing really well now. But you know, you get a commission, but how long does that money last? You know, it's like, lasts you a few months, you know, and then everyone thinks, oh, you're doing so well. And then you have your own insecurities about like, God, I wish I was, you know, earning more money. And I think so you've got your own challenges. And that was the thing of like, believing in what you do. But I said to you, like, I don't separate being an artist from my life. It's like, this is what I do. I think the challenge is also relationships. Like relationships, you have people and people believe in like, oh, this person's like, you can be a bit self-centered. Yeah, I think it's like, keep on going and just believing in this is the path you chose, this is what you love doing, and just keep doing it. And I think that's probably my biggest challenge, you know. And now my challenge is raising money to do the project that I want to do. Because a lot of when I first started, it was like I was pumping everything I was earning, I was throwing it back into making work. And now that like, new projects I want to do, I generally can't afford to do myself. So now it's how do I get sponsorships to do these projects? Yeah. To get me to the, and now I'm really like itching. I've got to do these projects. I want to do them. And I was like, I need to raise some money to do them. Yeah. No, so I think challenges, lots of internal challenges of myself. Yeah. So.
And how do you go about raising the money, private sponsorship, and all of that?
Before I started Arts Council, which I did for this project, and I think I got turned down. But I think the more you do your work, more people listen to you. Yeah. So I think before, people were like, oh yeah, he's an artist, he's doing his work. And now I think what's happened is that the longer you do it, people start to approach you. Like when Abbas, who approached me, he said, Bella, I really like your work, how can I help you? And I was like, I really want to get more from this project. And he was like, okay. Then literally he sent me an email, look, if I back you £5,000. And I was like, really? And I was like, brilliant. He goes, as long as you mention our organisation Open Advisor, you do it, fine, that's it. And then literally I've had some chats with some organisations recently at my next project, and they're like, let's chat, let's have a chat about it, see how we can help you. And I think that's the big shift. So rather than me just spending everything I've got, I think, and especially now in this gallery and the more exposure you've got, now I'm like, people are like, okay, how can we talk, what can we do? Yeah. But that is the hardest part, I think.
For some people, the subject of being a minority and facing prejudice is a difficult thing. Is that something that you... Yeah,
I've got to say, obviously, like, you know, there's a thing that most of the people I know say, you're always 10 years behind, or something. That's a lot of people say. You know, and I bet guys who are older than me and say, yeah, you know what, you're going to be 10 years behind. Fair dues. And I've experienced that. I mean, I can't go to detail, but I've had times when I was more trying to be a commercial photographer. And I remember turning to one agency and I said to the woman, she saw my work, and she was like, I love your work. And I remember turning to Covent Garden, and she opened my portfolio and she was like, what is this? I don't get it. And she just had this reaction to me. And I was like, whoa, what's this? It's like, you called me up, you were really happy to meet me. And then when I turn up, I just looked at her face and she was like, gave me portfolio again. I don't get your work. I don't get your work. And she literally handed me my portfolio and I was like, whoa, okay, well, what's that about? You know, but it's like, that's your problem. I've always looked at it as like, that's your problem. It's not mine. Yeah. So anytime I've encountered it, I always put it onto them because I'm secure who I am. And I remember reading this quote, I can't remember which book it was, and I remember I was in New York and I read this quote from Naomi Campbell that said, racism is her fuel. And to me it is, because it's like, you know what, that's your problem. I'm really secure, happy who I am, so you're the one with the issue, you deal with it. So, that's it.
That's positive.
Yeah.
I like it. And what would you say was your biggest success today, and how did you achieve it?
I think the biggest success is actually just surviving and being an artist.
Yeah.
I think that's the big success, to continue doing what you love doing. Never really felt like giving up. I see it as a lifetime thing. The artists that I admire die being an artist. It's not something that people think, oh, when you're in your 20s, yeah, you're going to be successful by your 22, and then you're going to have all this success, and then yeah, and everything. No, for me, it's like, this is a lifetime thing. And I think that's my success. It's like just believing that this is what I chose to do. However hard it is, I'm going to continue doing it.
Well, how would you define success?
Happiness. As long as you're happy. Passion and happiness. I've always said this, passion and happiness. It's not about having a gallery, it's not about shows, it's passion and happiness. If you've got the passion, you love what you're doing, and you're happy, that's what matters. Yeah.
So do you feel successful by your definition?
I feel happy, you know, I feel really happy. Because I feel like, you know what, I've continued. You know, obviously I want to make more work. I just don't want to like this project to define me. This project, I want to get into new projects. But I'm happy because, you know what, I've continued doing what I love doing. I've gone through a lot of struggles, and the beautiful thing is that my family really turned up to the exhibition. My parents came to the exhibition, and they were there, and they were like, "Hey, son, okay." Because I remember when we had this conversation years ago. They were like, "Are you sure you don't want to get a job to keep going?" And I'm like, "No, I'm going to keep doing little part-time jobs." And they were like, "Are you sure?" And we had this conversation. And now they come and they're really happy, and they come to all exhibitions, and my parents are really happy, and they're sitting there smiling, and they're like, yeah, I'm like, that's cool. And I've got beautiful friends around me who, we support each other, we call each other up, and when they, you know, when you support, we're like, yeah, how's your work going? Oh, I'm trying to work this out, and I think to me, that's what matters to me. Like, I've got these beautiful friends, good support network of friends, and a great family. So, yeah.
That's lovely. So, if you could go back in time to the Othello that was just entering the art world and starting his career, what advice would you give him?
Don't worry. Stop worrying. We plan too much. We're all trying to figure out the future. Like, we're going to plan this. We've got to achieve this by this. We've got to do this by this. It's like, let go of it all. Do you know what? And probably it's easy for me to say. I don't want to sound like, because I know everybody's circumstances are different. Yeah. But luckily, I've got a really good family, and we're a really supportive family. So I can't neglect that part. I can't say that hasn't helped me as an artist. Having like a really, really nice family, supportive family. But I think, just don't worry. I don't worry about the future at all. I just like, you know what, whatever's going to be is going to be. And I think I've come to that stage. And so I'll say, just let go. Don't worry about it. Don't define yourself by you have to achieve this. You've got to do this for this. Nah, let it go. Let it go. Yeah.
And what about if it was a complete stranger? What advice would you give?
Same thing. Just believe. As long as you're happy, enjoying what you're doing, be true to yourself. I mean, truly be true to yourself. Yeah, that's what we'll keep doing, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's all right.
That was great. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me for that edition of Art Success with Othello De'Souza-Hartley. If you would like to see the more in-depth interview with him, which is where we discussed his work in the context of the show that he's currently in, the link to that interview is in the description box below the video here on YouTube. If you would like to go to the exhibition, there's also more information about the exhibition and the gallery, Sulger-Buel Lovell Gallery, in the description box below. Please do subscribe to my channel, because by subscribing you get to keep up to date with the latest exhibition vlogs and art success interviews like this one. There's going to be plenty more content art related coming your way as well. I am on other social media channels, so I am on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and latterly my guilty pleasure Snapchat, where I do some more behind the scenes stuff that you will never see me putting out on my usual social media. Until next time, take care of yourself. Bye.